So this is the Summer Camp Play Care Parent Orientation. Like I said, we'll have a Q&A at the end for any questions that may not have gotten answered during the presentation. Welcome. We're going to meet some of our team members. Here at the Youth Center, we have Carlos Pichardo. He's our Youth Center supervisor. We have Yanessa Rodriguez, who is his assistant. And then we have the Youth Center reception phone line in case you need to contact us. And this would be the email to contact us, anything related to summer camp. It's summercare@coralgables.com. That is for the Youth Center. Underneath, we have tennis. Robert Gomez, he's our tennis supervisor. His assistant's name is Kevin. And they also have their tennis pro and camp coordinator. And for anything related to tennis camp, it's going to be tennisinfo@coralgables.com. And we also have Venetian Pool. Jose Villar is their supervisor. They also have two assistant supervisors, who's Darren and Anna, and their email would be vpinfo@coralgables.com. Give me one moment. So I'm just going to go through the slides. This is for the CDC. Vaccination is a leading public health preventive strategy in the United States to help prevent COVID-19 pandemic. People who are not fully vaccinated, including children under the age of 12 who are also not yet eligible for vaccination, still need to use the tools we have available to slow the spread of the virus. For any campers or staff who are not fully vaccinated, consistent use of multiple preventative strategies will limit or slow the spread of the virus that causes COVID-19. We're going to be focusing on promoting vaccination against COVID-19 for eligible staff, campers, and their family members, correctly and consistently using well-fitted masks that cover your nose and mouth, physical distancing, including cohorting, which is what we're doing with our camps. A lot of you noticed that this year was a little bit different than past summers. They're by sessions, and the idea there is to try to keep kids together around the same people longer versus in previous years where it's a bunch of different kids in and out constantly. We're still promoting hand washing, covering your mouth appropriately when you cough and sneeze, and avoiding any crowded or poorly ventilated indoor activities. Again, this is the strategies that we're using in preventative measures. Routine cleaning to help maintain a healthy facility. Staying home if you are sick or if you have any symptoms of COVID-19. Also getting tested if you have symptoms or are unvaccinated and have been in close contact with someone who has a confirmed case. Contact tracing in combination with isolation and quarantining, and as well as screen testing. Safety precautions and measures for this summer. Again, these are the main things that we're focused on is the masks, the face coverings, symptoms, temperature screenings, reduced group sizes and cohorts, and also contact tracing and program suspension. To be mandatory indoor setting for personnel and participants in facility providing direct care to children. This is when masks and face coverings would be required. When outdoors, masks will not be required for participants as they will have the necessary space to maintain safe distance, and they're performing vigorous exercise as well. And they're not in a confined space that wouldn't allow for airflow, a little less fancy way of saying it. Face coverings and physical distancing will be prioritized outside of the cohort groups. All lunch and snack breaks will be conducted outdoors to allow for safe mask removal. Obviously, weather sometimes in South Florida is not always helpful with these things, so we obviously assess accordingly and make the best decision for safety for all kids, staff, and groups. Outdoor programming activities will be encouraged as much as the weather allows. Symptoms and temperature screenings, self-check symptoms. Self-check symptom screening should be conducted daily by all participants and personnel. We all know our body best. We have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. Temperature screenings will be conducted with all personnel, including our contractors and our volunteer personnel. Screenings will also be conducted with participants for any indoor programs or activities. This includes the Youth Center, Adult Activity Center, and for all the camps at the Tennis Center and Venetian Pool. Transactional activities conducted outdoors will not require temperature screenings, such as pool admission, tennis court rentals, and golf green fees. And these are some safety precautions continuing on for the reduced sizes and cohorts. Cohorts will be maintained for all children activities and programs to reduce the impact of contact tracing due to exposure and suspension from programming. Sizes will vary, but will not exceed 20 children to a group and maintain a minimum of 1 to 10 staffing ratio. Staff will be assigned to set groups and will not mix between groups. Staff will focus on bringing in experiences instead of going on field trips. It's very easy. It's easier to control, our facility and, all of our other respective facilities versus going to other places where we don't have control and we can't provide the most safety as possible. Full day indoor camp programs will be conducted in 2 to 3 week intervals, which I know I mentioned earlier, to reduce mixing of children. Interactions between groups and the public should be limited, and that includes with parents. Contact tracing and program suspension procedures will continue with CDC recommendations for summer camps and aftercare settings as well. We're going to continue on with some COVID-19 safety protocols. These are the main sources that we've used. We have the CDC, the Department of Children and Families, American Camp Association, and Department of Education as well. Promoting behaviors that reduce the spread. These are some of the best tips to have. Staying home when appropriate, test for COVID if you're displaying symptoms for COVID, if you've had close contact with a person who's had COVID, and report absenteeism. Staff will call home by 10 a.m. So we would just check in with whoever's not coming in just to see what's going on. Healthy hygiene, washing hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, kind of like CPR when you have a song in your head. Just kind of, was like a funny thing I thought would be funny. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. We have a lot of sanitation stations around the youth center, and multiple rooms with sinks and soap. So we're going to be encouraging that a lot. Stay home if you're sick. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Putting distance between yourself and other people. Physical distancing. Cover your mouth and nose with a cloth face covering. And remember to cover your cough, sneezes with a tissue or use the inside of your elbow. And anything that's used, make sure you just throw it away properly. And we're also going to be cleaning and disinfecting frequently touch surfaces. That's doorknobs, maybe, the phone, anything that is in like a shared space would need to be sanitized consistently. A face covering is a material that covers the nose and mouth. These will only be enforced indoors when the cohort groups interact with others, such as during drop-off and pickup. So when your child comes for the youth center example, as soon as they get out of the car, they do need to at least have the mask already positioned on their face. When outdoors, face coverings within the cohort groups are optional. Face coverings will be required for staff at all times when interacting in close proximity with children. Maintaining healthy environments. When it comes to cleaning and disinfecting, soap and water removes germs and dirt and impurities from surfaces. Disinfecting kills germs on surfaces. We will use EPA-approved products. Staff should clean and disinfect their room several times a day. I've already spoken with my staff about that. We have our wonderful custodian janitorial staff with us as well, who's worked tirelessly to make sure that we all have a clean facility. The bathrooms will be disinfected frequently as well, and frequent touch points, which I mentioned earlier, like doorknobs, will be frequently cleaned as well. All participants will receive individual craft and activity kits. So as far as the youth center, all rooms have their own set of supplies. Personal belongings should stay at home, so we don't encourage them bringing toys, anything like that. They can get lost, they can get damaged, so we don't encourage that. Any sharing of objects should be limited, and participants must bring their own meals and utensils. So as far as the youth center, if you have a youth center camp, they do need to have lunch sent with them. We don't heat up anything. It needs to be something that can, remain in a lunchbox. Any sharing of food and utensils is prohibited. That's not just for a COVID-19 policy, but also for allergies. We try to make sure that children are only eating things that are sent from home with them that are safe for them to eat. Lunch will be eaten outdoors with their cohorted groups. Sealed, individually wrapped snacks will be provided. We are a peanut-free facility, so we don't provide or we don't give snacks that come from a peanut facility or anything like that. Maintaining healthy operations. This is continuing on with cohorted groups. For the CDC, the implementation of small groups and children that remain with the same group all day, each day, while practicing physical distancing with limited use of shared objects are considered the lowest risk. As I've said before, that is the aim that we're going for. The City of Coral Gables is committed to having all small groups that will remain together for the duration of day and camp session without mixing with other groups for staff. Each group will have their own assigned classroom to minimize the possibility for cross-contamination. So all groups will have their own set room where they would be the only ones going in and out. Building access to the general public and parents will be limited. Promoting resilience. Hearing about the pandemic repeatedly may cause overwhelming feelings of distress. Children may worry about themselves, their family, and their friends getting ill with COVID. Staff will assist helping children make sense of what they hear in a way that is honest, accurate, and minimizes anxiety or fear by using the CDC's shared facts about COVID-19. The summer camp program will not include watching, reading, or listening to news stories about COVID, including social media or entertain discussions that promote fear or anxiety. The objective for summer camp is for kids to have fun in a safe environment. All employees and children will go through a daily health temperature and screening upon arrival. The health screening will be conducted safely and respectfully in accordance with any applicable privacy laws and regulations while following all CDC guidelines. Anyone that may appear to have symptoms of a contagious disease, illness, or injury that may require medical attention will be denied entry into the program or facility. Staff and families must self-report to the camp administrators if they have symptoms of COVID-19, a positive test for COVID-19, or were exposed to someone within the last 14 days in accordance with the health information sharing regulations for COVID-19. The city will immediately notify staff and families of camps. Sorry, everyone. The city will immediately notify staff and families of camp closures and restrictions in place to limit COVID-19 exposures. Parents should inform the city immediately of any health concerns related to COVID-19 via the ProCare Connect app or email, which I mentioned earlier, summercare@coralgables.com, or you can call us on our main line. I know that I've gotten a couple emails about ProCare. I'm pretty sure we'll touch base on that a little bit later, so no worries. Oh, called it. ProCare Connect is all about keeping parents and staff connected. It's a city-run camps. Programs will be utilizing the ProCare app during drop-off for sign-in and during pickup for sign-out to provide both parents and staff with a new touchless check-in process. Contracted and specialized camps will be utilizing their own system. So I know right now if your child is enrolled in My First Camp, green group, red, or blue, those are my assigned camps, and we will be using ProCare. I'm happy to answer any questions about that at the end if you have any. From their account, parents can edit their child's allergies or medication. If you make any edits, make sure you let someone know because it's important information to know. You can also edit your authorized pickup list if you need to make changes, add someone or take someone off. And you'll also receive drop-off and pickup notifications where you'll see what time they got dropped off, who they got signed out with. And you'll also receive updates on child's daily activities. And you can receive and reply to messages, photos, and videos from their child's counselor. An email, let me take a quick sip of water, I'm sorry. An email will be sent out to the email address on file with an invitation to sign up as a parent for ProCare app via the web or the application on your phone. It's a free app. You can download it on your mobile device. Once parents have invited, they will receive a unique registration code via email. They can go to the ProCare website to sign up and create their account. And then from there, you would fill out parent, and then you would go ahead and start entering the information, including your password. And after logging into the account, they'll have an option to add their children into the registered code. For anyone that has siblings enrolled in camps that are using ProCare, their accounts actually get linked, which is good because if you make changes for the drop off and pickup, it's for both of them. So you don't have to do one for the other. Preparing for when someone gets sick. A nice little diagram on if you don't feel well and to staying home if you are sick. Cough, shortness of breath, chills, sore throat, loss of taste or smell, muscle pain. What to do if you are sick. The city has implemented safety procedures for everyone in the event that someone is sick or experiences COVID-19 symptoms. These are procedures including isolating the participant with adult supervision and notifying the parent or guardian. Once the employee or child has been removed from the program, the cohorted group will transition to a new temporary room while the classroom goes through a full cleaning and disinfecting process. In accordance with state and local laws, regulations, the city will notify local health officials, staff, and families immediately of any cases involving COVID-19 while maintaining confidentiality. Employees and children should not come into the summer care program if they are sick. While waiting on test results, anyone with symptoms will be asked to stay home. The remainder of the cohorted group, staff and participants included, will be closely monitored for symptoms. Upon receiving a positive test result in a cohorted group, the entire group will be asked to stay home for a minimum of 10 days or may potentially return the following a negative test if it is taken or after the 5th day of exposure. In accordance with the state and local laws and regulations, the city will notify local health officials, staff, and families immediately while maintaining confidentiality. The affected area will go through a full sanitation and the entire building will go through electrostatic cleaning. The facility must immediately report the incident, timing of infection, and proposed remediation plan to relevant authorities, including the FLDOH. Inform parents and legal guardians and affected employees on the same day about any potential contact their child or the staff may have had with a confirmed case. Close off any areas used by the person who was sick. Open outside doors and windows to increase the circulation of air in those rooms. The CDC advises that employees and children with COVID-19 who experience symptoms or those who did not have COVID-19 symptoms but test positive should not return until they've met the CDC's criteria to discontinue home isolation. In most instances, people who've had COVID-19 can be around others after 10 days since symptoms first appeared or a positive test, 24 hours with no fever or the use of fever-reducing medications, and other COVID-19 symptoms are improving. This is regarding contact tracing and exposure. Following a positive test, contact tracing will be initiated to identify anyone who falls under the CDC's criteria of at-risk exposure. And that would be considered if you were within 6 feet of someone who has COVID-19 for a total of 15 minutes or more. So it's not necessarily 15 minutes in one block. It could have been 5 minutes earlier, 5 minutes a little bit later. So it's that accumulated time period. You provided care at home to someone who is sick with COVID. You had direct physical contact with the person, hugged or kissed them. You shared eating or drinking utensils. They sneezed, coughed, or somehow got respiratory droplets on you. The contact window is 48 hours before symptoms onset and until they met criteria for discontinuing home isolation. Anyone having had any contact before the 48-hour window is not considered at risk for exposure. Exposure when fully vaccinated. The recommendation for quarantine following exposure to a person diagnosed with COVID-19 in this guidance applies to unvaccinated persons. People who are considered fully vaccinated for COVID-19 2 weeks after they've received the second dose in a 2-dose series, or 2 weeks after they've received a single dose of vaccine. Fully vaccinated people with no COVID-like symptoms do not need to quarantine or be tested following an exposure to someone with suspected or confirmed case of COVID, as their risk of infection is low. Fully vaccinated people who do not quarantine should still monitor for symptoms of COVID-19 for 14 days following an exposure. If they experience symptoms, they should isolate themselves from others, be clinically evaluated for COVID-19, including SARS-CoV-2 testing, and inform their healthcare provider of their vaccination status at the time of presentation to care. People who were previously diagnosed with COVID-19 within the last 3 symptoms may not need to quarantine if they can provide that their dated positive test. These are some examples of non-COVID sickness or illnesses. I've worked with kids a long time. I've learned that sometimes, if a child says that they don't feel well, especially now, it doesn't automatically mean COVID, and that's something that we explain to them as well. So these are some other things that kids may experience that are not related to COVID-19. And like as we said earlier, it's about educating and not making them feel anxious, as times are very crazy, and it's important that they're here to have fun and be safe. Drop-off and pickup procedures. Each facility has their own drop-off and pickup procedure and map. So I will touch base on these as much as possible. At the youth center, all drop-offs will be conducted outside in curb-like style and will have designated areas per group. I believe in the parent handbook, there's the maps that we're going to be using, and they're highlighted and color-coded with the timeframes. The parent or designated person should remain inside the vehicle. It is recommended that everyone inside the vehicle wear a face covering during drop-off and pickup procedures prior to the employee approaching your vehicle. This is an example for the youth center drop-off and pickup. If anyone is familiar with our facility, it's going to be in the back part of the building. So for Anastasia drop-off and pickup for a full day, it's going to be the drop-off times from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., meaning in that specific area. If you're dropping off after, it's going to be located in the front where you see the yellow C, and that's for late drop-offs, meaning 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. If your child is planning on coming in, at 11 or 12, or they had something on in the morning, you can always let us know through the app, and that way we kind of have like a time estimate of when they're going to show up to make sure we have someone there to meet you when you come. But again, anything after 9 a.m. is going to be in the section C. And if you look over at the Anastasia drop-off and pickup, this is for the section B, will be the basketball camp. So if your child is enrolled in basketball, they're going to be coming in through these double doors there. And then for pickup, pickup would start from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Again, you're able to drop off your child when you need to and pick them up when you need to. This is just kind of like the set times, the most busy times, and the most common times for pickup. So we kind of mapped it out for everyone to make it a little bit easier for everything. This is Venetian Pools drop-off and pickup. For any specific questions about the drop-off, you can direct those questions to the email for vpinfo@coralgables.com, but I will read over it just to make sure that description-wise it is cleared. Venetian Pool drop-off and pickup, their drop-off is from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m., and their pickup is from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. The Guard Start half-day program, the drop-off is at 1 p.m. and the pickup is at 5 p.m. And then you have your ABC labeled areas over the different parts of the facility. This is the tennis drop-off and pickup. For any specific questions regarding tennis, please reach out to the email that was provided at the beginning. I will touch base over this one. Biltmore Tennis Center and drop-off and pickup. Their drop-off runs from 8:45 to 9 a.m. and their pickup runs from 1 p.m. to 1:15 p.m. And then you have the same thing, their breakdown of the different sections and where they are mapped out on the facility. Drop-off procedures, the employee will greet the parent or designated person at their vehicle in the designated drop-off area between the hours of 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. After 9 a.m., drop-off will be permitted, but parents must pull up their vehicles to the rotunda located at University Drive. So again, this is youth center specific. It is advised that the parent notify the staff via the ProCare app at least 5 minutes prior to arrival. After 10 a.m., drop-off will not be permitted unless accommodations are provided and approved, provided in advance. So if you're running late, something's going on, just let us know. It just kind of makes it easier for everyone. Screening procedures, the employee will administer a temperature scan using a no-touch thermometer. If the participant's temperature is 100.4 or above, the participant will not be admitted to attend the program. Pickup procedures, in order to ensure everyone's safety, these are the following protocols that are going to be implemented during the afternoon pickup at the designated drop-off areas. Parents and guardians are able to park their vehicles and report to the designated pickup area. Staff will call for the child over radio and bring the child to the appropriate pickup location. The parent guardian will be asked to verify they are authorized to pick up the participant. I know that for my youth center camps, I always ask for ID. I've had parents that I've done programming with for years, and I ask them for their ID every time. It's just to ensure the safety of your child. That's always the goal. And then for authorized pickups and procedures, only the custodial parent or legal guardian of the child will be permitted to authorize who can sign out the child. So in some cases, as an example, a babysitter cannot call us and tell us that she's going to add some person to pick up your child. It has to come from the parent. And that's another good reason we have the ProCare app. You would have control over who does that. At registration, parents are to list all family members or friends with their appropriate full name. That's why we check the IDs to make sure everything matches. Only those listed on the form will be added to your child's account and listed on the sign-out roster. To add additional contacts, the guardian must call or email the registration office using their code word. For identification purposes, changes may also be made in person at the registration office. That's another good thing about the ProCare app. You can kind of do it from there. Office staff will then update and relay information to specific camps. And as I mentioned, a valid photo ID must be presented to staff each time at pickup. This is a hard policy on ours, so it will be required. General camp information. The dress code, play clothes, and closed-toed shoes. I know that my camps will be running around a lot, so no sandals. I'm pretty sure gymnastics would require flip-flops or some type of sandals because they would take their shoes off to do stuff. But for sport-related camps, they must be closed-toed shoes. Loose, comfortable clothing that allows ease in movement is recommended. No inappropriate or revealing clothing may be worn. And campers must wear sneakers for all camps. For all outdoor programs, it's recommended to pack hat, sunscreen, bug spray, water bottle, and towel. Please keep in mind that staff is not permitted to touching a child in any way, shape, or form, but we can instruct them on how to, apply the sunscreen, to spread it, all those different things. Another thing for my camps is that I would always contact a parent in the case that, let's say, one of the kids forgot their sunscreen and, there's another camper that may have, and it's a spray. I'll call and be like, listen, is it okay? So we always get permission, and, we try to limit them sharing any type of things that come from home, obviously. Moving on, personal belongings and wristbands. All of our camps are going to get a wristband for their color coordinated group. So please label all items that your child brings to camp with a permanent marker. A lot of times kids have the same lunchbox, so that's always helpful. Staff is not responsible for lost or stolen, damaged personal items that are brought to camp. My rule of thumb for the kids is that if it's important, let it stay home. No electronic devices are permitted, electronic devices are prohibited during camp. We encourage the kids in recreational play, socializing. So that is the focus of our camps. Cell phone check times are limited to lunch and snack time. Cell phone communications are restricted to contacting parents or guardians only. I know that kids, I guess now in 4th and 5th grade have phones, so that's going to be something that we'd implement if they needed to like talk to mom or whatever the case is. That would be the only condition. The use of cell phones to capture photographs or videos of campers or staff is prohibited. We don't allow anyone to take pictures of any of the kids. Each room will have a lost and found, so items will need to be picked up at the end of the sessions. So if you misplace something during your summer A session, you need to make sure that you pick it up before the summer B starts, because it won't be able to stay in that lost and found at that point. Once summer camp has ended, all unclaimed items in the lost and found will be donated. All campers will be given identifying wristbands each day at check-in, and campers are required to wear them throughout the day to assist in color-coded camp-specific identification for the summer. So every camp is going to have a different color. Green would be green, red would be red, blue would be blue. In my first camp, their color changes on occasion, so I'm not sure what it is at this moment. Camp activities, bringing experiences into the classroom. Activities will include weekly art and crafts, Legos, STEM, dance, yoga, team building projects, movies on a rainy day, outdoor activities, special events, and much more. To reduce exposure to the cohort, such events as field trips will not be taking place this summer. Only G-rated movies or Disney PG may be shown to campers without specific written permission. And then these are some of the activities your child will experience at the play care and summer camps. Weekly themed spirit days, allowing children to express themselves in creative ways. These are some of the themes that we did last summer. We have Mission Impossible, Wacky Tacky, Game Show Mania. We're also going to have daily art activities, cut, paste, and create. Children will be given a specific idea by their counselor to help entice creativity and create artwork by cutting out shapes and gluing them together. That's just one of the examples. And then we have different room games that they're going to play. And this one is called 3, 2, 1 Scene. Children will be split into 2 groups of 4 while keeping social distance within their room. And the counselors will assign them a random topic, and they will have to act out a scene and try to make other groups laugh. So kind of like an improv acting game. And then for the daily outdoor play game, this is an example of one of the games. It's called Who's on First. So it would take place on the field, and it's kind of like a running guessing game. So they're going to be playing a lot of different games. They're also going to be doing sports, so it'll be fun. Personnel. All camp and staff, all of our camp staff are background checked and drug screened prior to appointment of position. Lead staff is DCF and CPR certified, as well as trained on how to use an AED. All summer staff are required to complete a thorough counselor orientation, which covers facility and program policy procedures, safety trainings, and drills specialized to training them for the groups that they're assigned to. General health. Medication. Medication must be stored with camp staff during camp hours. Any prescription medication must be in the original container from the pharmacy with a visible label showing the name of the medication, the child's name, the dose, and accompanied by a copy of the healthcare provider's prescription. With assigned medication authorization by the parent or guardian, staff may assist in administrating prescription oral medications to campers. Staff will not administer any injectable medication. Trained staff may administer an EpiPen to a camper having an allergic reaction, provided that the EpiPen is provided by the camper, meaning that is their EpiPen, they brought it to camp. In the event of an injury, campers will be brought to a supervisor for evaluation and care. Parents will be notified of all injuries requiring medical attention, regardless of severity. I've always told my staff that even if it's something as small as a paper cut, just mention it. And obviously, injuries are taken on a severity basis. In the event that we cannot get a hold of a parent, the emergency contact would be called. If an injury presents itself as severe, our Coral Gables Fire Rescue will be called to scene, and then followed by parents for emergency contacts. And they're like less than 5 minutes away, so that's awesome. Sunscreen and mosquito repellent. Well, mosquitoes are terrible in the summer. We strongly advise that each summer camper wear sunscreen daily. Please apply sunscreen to your child prior to dropping them off at camp each day. If additional applications of sunscreen are necessary, please provide the sunscreen for your child with their names on it and instruct them how to apply it on during the day. Counselors and staff are not permitted to provide or apply sunscreen to campers. It is recommended that parents provide their campers with their preferred mosquito repellent when sending their campers to any outdoor camps or activities. And I feel like mosquitoes are evolving and now they're pulling your sock down to bite you. So behavior guidelines. This is regarding behavior and discipline. Appropriate behavior is the joint responsibility of the child, parent, and camp staff. If a camper does not follow the behavior guidelines, the staff will attempt to redirect the camper to a more appropriate behavior and may remind the camper of their behavior guidelines. Here at the youth center, we have our Big 10 rules. They're posted in all the rooms. All of our staff go over it with the kids. And it's everything from make sure you don't litter to keeping your hands to yourself and to speaking kindly to others. If inappropriate behavior continues or if the behavior is of a serious nature, the following actions will be taken. Level 1 is a meeting with the camper and staff along with the timeout or revocation of privileges. Parent will be notified and staff will provide a disciplinary form describing the incident of behavior. Level 2 is meeting with the camper, parents, and camp supervisor, possible suspension from camp activities for the remainder of the day. Sessions pending severity, parent is notified and may be asked to pick up child from camp immediately. And then the level 3, a parent is notified and required to pick up child from camp immediately. The child may be removed from camp activities for the remainder of the summer. The city reserves the right to skip the steps in the disciplinary process based off the facts and circumstances of the individual situation. Oh, my Big 10. So these are the Big 10 that we go over here. Keep your hands to yourself, no fighting, no bullying, obey all the rules of your instructors and staff, no littering, no shouting, avoid danger. This one's been crossed out because it regards eating on the bus and stuff. Do not bring sodas or anything into the room. Do not tease anyone because they are different. Treat others as you like to be treated, and always speak up for yourself and speak up for others as well. This is our bullying policy. At any of our programs, bullying is inexcusable, and we have a firm policy against all types of bullying. Each child is expected to treat all the other children with respect and to help each other achieve the best possible experience. If a child has difficulty meeting this expectation, parents may be called upon to assist. Our leadership addresses all incidents of bullying seriously and trains staff to promote communication with their staff and with their children. Our registration and refund policy. The state of Florida has a broad public records law, and both the physical and online registration form and most written communications to or from City of Coral Gables officials regarding Coral Gables business are public record, available to the public upon request, subject to any relevant exceptions. All behavioral information about children enrolled in a City of Coral Gables program is regarded as confidential. No information regarding an individual child will be released to anyone except as required by law or if written authorization is obtained from the child's parent or legal guardian, and fees may apply to that. Refund policy for our programs. Refund requests must be made in writing 7 days prior to the start of the registered program date. There will be no refunds issued when a request is submitted less than 7 days notice. No refunds/credits will be issued once the session has already started. If there is a positive case of COVID within the cohorted group, a prorated refund/credit will be issued during the period of self-isolation. Any dispute with your credit card merchant of a payment for which services are rendered may result in the expulsion from all future city programs. Reasonable accommodations and inclusion. We have Erica here who runs our special populations. So she would be a great point contact for this. The Community Recreation Department is committed to providing inclusion opportunities for all children with disabilities to participate in summer care. Inclusion is not a separate group or program. Inclusion means providing support and removing barriers. The division does not currently offer any therapeutic summer programs and does not provide any therapeutic interventions, for example, tracking behaviors or collecting data for children. The special population staff will work with parents and guardians to ensure the program is a good fit for their child and to identify potential reasonable accommodations. This is an individualized process and may include meeting virtually with the child, parent, guardian in advance and requesting information about the child, including medical information and any IEPs that they may have through school. Please note the department does not provide one-on-one staffing for participants with disabilities. Participants need to be able to independently attend to their personal needs. Participants must be able to participate in group activities for the duration of the day and adhere to our behavior guidelines. All required health regulations must be met by all participants. Oh, and our Q&A. All right. I know that there's been a lot of popping up in the chat. So I'm just going to see if I can stop sharing my screen. I'm not sure. I apologize, everyone. I'm struggling technology wise. I'm trying to go to the chat. Oh, perfect.
Hey, Sarah, I've got 2 questions that need following up. I've handled everything else on the chat. Can you clarify for us what the end date for session C is? Is it the 16th or the 18th?
The last day for which camp is it?
Session C, so I think Youth Center.
Youth Center. So the start date for that camp is, if someone gives me just 1 second, I know I should know this at the top of my head, but I just want to make sure.
July 26th is the start date. And then
August 13th is the ending date. So if you're enrolled in that session C, your start date is July 26th, and the last day of that camp is August 13th. That's a Friday. So it's a 3-week session.
And then the other question was regarding self-sign up for older campers.
I believe that our self-sign out starts for, that was, so for any, so let me explain. In the past, we had a camp that was called our Teens Outside group, and those were kids who were in middle school. So I believe that they were maybe like 13 or 12. I will find out what is happening with self sign out this summer. I know for a fact that if you are in my first camp, green or red, they are not old enough to do it. I know that for a fact. With Blue Group, I can definitely find out if that is the case, and I can send like a Rec Connect or a ProCare message. I don't anticipate self sign out going on this summer, just given all the circumstances that we have going on. And I do know that children under the age of, I think I should know this. There's a certain age requirement that you need to be self-sign out and even to be around the facility, but our facility is closed off right now to everyone that's not involved in programming. So I will find out about that. It's 13 to 15. So.
Can you put the slide with the summer camp email or all the email addresses?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I can definitely put that back. Just give me 1 second. Share my screen. Oh my goodness. I apologize. Here we go. There we go. I noticed a lot of questions about ProCare in the chat. I'm going to see if maybe this statement kind of answers the majority of it. If you haven't received the code yet for your child, odds are that they've been registered after we initially started adding people into ProCare. So if you haven't gotten a link yet, it's something that is on our end and we will send it out to you. We had a lot of people sign up after the first batch of people went in. Also, if you are not registered for summer A and you're only registered for summer B or C, for example, you're not going to get ProCare access until that point. So right now in ProCare, if you're in session A, that's when you'll be given your link. So if you haven't gotten it yet and you're registered for session A, that is something that will be sent to you prior to camp starting. And again, if you have children, siblings are linked on accounts. So it would only be one code for your 2 children. I don't know if that clarified the questions about ProCare, because I've had a couple of emails of parents that haven't received the code yet. So that's definitely something that we're going to tackle before camp starts. But again, if you're only doing a summer B or a summer C, you're not involved in summer A, you're not going to get that link until we move closer to your start date. So if you're in summer A and you haven't gotten it yet, it is coming. I feel like there's a feature here where you can like raise your hand, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if anyone had a question they wanted to ask me directly. I do hope that this presentation was informative, and I know that these are difficult times, so I appreciate everyone listening to me and taking the time to attend this orientation. Again, if you have any questions regarding Venetian Pool, this is your contact information down here. If you have anything involving tennis, it's right over here. And then for the youth center, some of you may be involved in contracted camps, for example, Tumblebees, Bricks for Kids, or Fitness. You can contact us to get a hold of them as well if you don't already have like a direct contact for those specific people. And again, if you are involved in basketball, Jerry is hosting another orientation in the next 15 minutes. And he'll probably go over some of the same things, but maybe he'll have more specific information about basketball. Oops. And if you need to ask me any questions or there's anything that I didn't clarify well enough, and if that is the case, I do apologize. You can email us here at summercare@coralgables.com. You also have the main office line. And for anyone who wants to write it down really quickly, another office line that we have is 305-460-5601. So the only difference is the last number. Are there specific instructions for golf camp? I believe golf camp has their own policies as well. And you'd have to reach out to golf directly for that. Is there any other link for the basketball orientation? I can find out for you for sure. It might be, I think I can send that out actually. Sorry, everyone, I'm just like going through the chat as quickly as possible to see if there's anything. I'm not sure if Venetian Pool is using ProCare. You can definitely ask them directly. Lego camp curriculum. Alrighty. If anyone is still here with us that has a question and would like to ask me directly, if not, I will be ending the meeting so that Jerry can go ahead and prepare for his meeting. And if you're still with me, I really do appreciate. Oh, I see one. Adriana, if you can, hi, you can go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there.
Not a problem. Thank you. I was wondering what exactly, my daughter is for the Tumblebees, and this is our first time. What exactly does she need to take as far as what she needs to wear? A leotard?
I do know for gymnastics that I don't think a leotard is mandatory. If she has one, she can definitely wear it. I know that they sell leotards as well, or you maybe can purchase one if she really wants one, but essentially just comfortable, easy movement clothes. So, like a shirt, maybe like shorts that are not like, skin tight, leggings is appropriate. You can always pack her with sneakers just in case maybe there's a day where they go outside to do something. And I do know that most of the children that do gymnastics always come in like little flip-flops because they take off their shoes to do stuff. I would definitely pack her with lunch because at the youth center where the youth center is where that camp is taking place, we're not providing any lunch. So, make sure that you send her, a water bottle, snacks if she needs anything like that. And there is an email to reach out for them directly. If you want, you can. It's going to be a game of tag, but if you want to send the inquiry to Summer Care, I can send that to gymnastics. It might be a little bit easier for me to direct the question that way, but I'm pretty sure that's all that she'll need. And maybe some bug spray in the case that, she's outside for a little bit having lunch and mosquitoes, don't respect that.
So you think sunscreen for the gymnastics also?
You could always pack it with her. Like I said, maybe there's an occasion where they go outside. I do know that camp is gymnastics focused, but it's from 9 a.m. to 4, so I don't anticipate them doing gymnastics the entire time. There might be some art activities as well. So it's definitely something to clarify with them, but I do feel confident in my answer that would be the best things to pack her for sure. There's like 7 new messages down here. I'm just gonna look real quick.
I wanted to ask a question about ProCare.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I signed up under my email address, and my husband can use the same code when we haven't gotten the code. Our son is signed up for basketball session A, and we haven't received the 10-digit code or whatever it is yet. And if I have the app on my phone, he can use it on his phone too, because we might both be picking up at different times.
Yes. So with the app, there's actually, it has 2 main account holder slots. So you would both be able to access it from separate devices. This is Gerard's mom, right?
No, this is Jaleel Simmons.
Jaleel? Oh, sorry. The voice sounds familiar. I'm sorry. Hi. So I know for basketball, I can find out if they're using ProCare. There's a chance that maybe they're not using ProCare. And we can definitely clarify that through the Summer Care email. Just you can ask there because Jerry will be able to see that as well. I hope that kind of answers the question, at least in a good amount. Yes, you guys can use it from separate devices, and you just have to confirm with Jerry if he's going to be using the ProCare app.
Thanks. I don't want to put you on the spot. I see a lot of parents are asking about the ProCare code because they have also, but I don't know what session they're in. So I guess if y'all can send out something about ProCare to give us.
Yes, of course. For anyone that's asking, good point. No, I appreciate that. Like I said, you will receive you'll receive ProCare under two conditions. You are involved in a program that is using ProCare. So if you haven't received a registration link for ProCare, it's for one of two reasons. One, your camp is not using ProCare, or two, you have not been put in yet in the system. Now, again, if you're registered for session A for a camp that is starting June 14th, you will get it before camp starts. If you are registered for summer B or for summer C and you're not registered for A, you will not get the ProCare access yet at this time. Tumblebees is not using ProCare. That's one that I'm sure of that it's not using it. So for their pickups and the pickup and drop off process would be the same as far as the locations that you go. It would just probably be a paper sign out where you physically have to sign it. And I do apologize that there may be a lot of questions that I didn't get to directly, and I do apologize for that. That's from my understanding of it, if you're registered for the first session. I hope that clarified some questions, because I do see that there's still a couple people with me. If there's any other questions that are not regarding ProCare, is basketball orientation via the same link? I do believe that it is, because that's the main link to use to register for. And if it is not, I can definitely make sure that a second link gets set. I can definitely try to make sure a second link gets set out. This meeting is also recorded. It's going to cover a lot of the same things that the sports camp is doing. So we could also send this to you as well if you need it. Venetian Pool, I think they offer lunch to purchase. Oh, yep, that was close.
Yes, the lunch is provided for the Venetian Pool Junior Lifeguard Camp. For Guard Start, we're going to be providing snacks.
Adriana, you had another question? Or? Oh, sorry, the hand is still up, so I was just like looking at it. So I know this is a lot of stuff to cover, and there's a lot of things that are kind of still not clear yet. That's why I'm going to go back to, I was going to try to go back to that email page for you guys to see it. Let me see if I can stop sharing my screen. I'm going to put it up one more time for anyone that may need it. Just 1 second. Go back to sharing my screen. All right, I'm just going to share that with you guys one last time. These would be your point people depending where you are for programming. Again, if you're attending Tumblebees, Bricks, those are or Fitness, those are contracted camps. You can still contact us to get more information about them. If you haven't received the ProCare code, again, just to clarify one last time, because I understand it can be a little bit confusing, and I apologize if I haven't been able to articulate it the best way. ProCare is only, at this point, to my knowledge, being used by My First Camp, Green Group, Red Group, and Blue Group. Those are camps that I run directly. So if you're in one of those 4 camps and you need to reach out to me, that's the best email out there to do so. And again, for ProCare, if you are registered for session A, you will get a code sent to you before Monday. If you are in B, C, and you're not in A, you're not going to get it until that point. I do hope that makes sense. Yes. Venetian Pool includes lunch for the junior lifeguard camp and snacks for guard, if anyone else needed that question answered. Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone. I didn't realize I was doing that. Alrighty. I do hope that this meeting was informative. I'm going to go ahead and end it. Like I said, it's recorded, so if anyone needs it, we can be sure to send that to you. And again, these are your point emails to contact. We got summer care for the youth center, tennis info at coralgables.com for the tennis center, and then you have VP info at Coral Gables. And I do appreciate everyone staying this long with me and listening. And it's going to be a pleasure to work with you all this summer. So hope you all have a great day.